All right, so Joe Biden was at a union summit yesterday, and when a journalist asked him a question about his son, he lost it. Let's take a look.
As vice president in charge of policy in Ukraine, and your son's job in Ukraine, how is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man, what he's doing, that no president has ever done. No president.
So the reporter is asking him, look, when you were in charge of policy in Ukraine under Obama, when you were his point man in Ukraine and China, your son was sitting on a board of a Ukrainian gas company. How is that not a conflict of interest? And he's like, there's no indication, there's no proof of a conflict of interest. What do you mean? We know that you were in charge of policy for Ukraine, and we know your son was sitting on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. That's all we need to know. That's the evidence. That's the proof of a conflict of interest. You don't think that having the vice president's son, the vice president of the United States of America, which has the most powerful military and economy in the world, that having the vice president's son of the most powerful nation on earth sit on your board is not a conflict of interest? I mean, look, anyone who's telling you that this is not just blatant corruption and nepotism is either an idiot or a liar. That's it. That's all we need to know. The way that Biden handles it here, it's like he's just yelling at the reporter like, focus on him, don't focus on me, otherwise you'll see my blatant corruption and nepotism and then you won't vote for me. Focus on Trump, Trump bad, Orange man, Cheeto man bad. I mean, do you think you're talking to children? I really believe that Biden and the rest of the establishment media, they hold the American people and the rest of the world in contempt. They really think that we are all fucking idiots and we cannot see what they're doing. And anytime anyone raises a question, it's like, hey, how dare you talk about my corruption? Talk about his corruption. He's corruptorer. What is wrong with you? And he's just like pointing his finger, like wagging his finger at the reporter like some old man who's like, get off my lawn. How dare you question me on my own turf? Dude, you're in the wrong. You are completely in the wrong. And look, man, Secular Talk covered this extensively already about Joe Biden and the Biden family's corruption. So this is not just about his son, okay? His brother was also profiting off of the Iraq war. We have so many examples of this. Again, this is business as usual. It's business as usual. It's not like corruption started with Donald Trump. No, it's been there before. The only difference between Trump and Biden is that Trump is really open with the nepotism, right? He has his daughter Ivanka come in and sit on UN meetings and mingle with diplomats. She's in places that she has no business really being. She's in the administration, okay? It's not like, oh, he's setting her up at to get money through a proxy, and that kind of thing. Because the thing with Joe Biden is that if he had put his wife on that board, I mean, that would have been too obvious. So what does he do? He puts in his son and, he makes it work that way. But Trump, I mean, he's just open with his corruption. And that's the only difference. Don't think that corruption just started in January 2017 when Trump took office, okay? Corruption has been in Washington since day one. This is the way things are. This is business as usual. It's just that Trump is now calling it out and hanging up their dirty laundry in public. And that's why they're all throwing a fit. That's why they're all going ape shit on Donald Trump, because you're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to expose it. Okay. So that's why they're trying to go after him with this whole impeachment inquiry. And again, we're not trying to defend Trump. Okay. The way that the Democrats have now molded the political climate is that, if you criticize any of the establishment Democrats, if you talk bad about Hillary Clinton and you point out Joe Biden's corruption, you're a Republican, you support Trump. No, we're calling you out because we're scrutinizing you because we have a better candidate who needs to become president. His name is Bernie Sanders. He's not corrupt and he stands for something as opposed to you. So we are going to put you under scrutiny because you deserve to be under scrutiny. Okay, so this whole idea that, if you criticize the Democrats, you're automatically Trump defender and you're enabling Trump. No, you're enabling Trump. Okay, Nancy Pelosi is enabling Trump, not Bernie Sanders. So Let's get that out of the way in case that wasn't clear. They're both corrupt, okay? Trump and Biden are both corrupt. Now, we can have a debate as to which one is more corrupt, but that doesn't matter because they both shouldn't be serving in public office if they're corrupt. That's kind of how it goes, you know? You would strive to not put corrupt people in positions of power. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter how corrupt they are, all right? And the fact that Biden thinks that he can just shut reporters up when they bring up his blatant corruption that is just so obvious. It's right there. And saying, oh, there's no proof of it. We don't need anything more than the facts that we already have. We know that your son shouldn't be serving, anyone in your family shouldn't be serving in a board or in a country and making money off of a country that you're overseeing. It just shouldn't happen. This is out of the question. I mean, the fact that they really thought no one would catch on to this is unbelievable. It's almost Trump-like. It's like, oh, I'm going to do what I like and no one will notice. Like, hello? Are you there? We can see what you're doing. This is truly madness. And the fact that he thinks the press should bow to him. Again, this is also very Trump-like. It's like, how dare you talk about me and paint me in a bad light and bring up facts and the truth about me? How dare you? That's the whole point of the press. Thank God someone actually asked him a real question for once. You know, this is the whole issue here with this impeachment inquiry, with this whole thing. It's just Joe Biden is such a terrible candidate. They have to make him look like a victim of Trump's vicious attacks, and all of this is fake, and I'm not corrupt, and he's bad, and that's why I need to be the president because I'm not corrupt. No, you are also corrupt. That's it. And I mean, if people think this guy stands a chance against Trump, man, forget it. Okay, Trump demolished Hillary, bringing up her corruption and talking about the Clinton Foundation and all the things that she's ever done and all the blunders. He even talked about Bill Clinton. You can't hide from it. Trump is going to attack you on that. It doesn't matter that he's also corrupt. He's a better bully than you. He knows how to bully people. He knows how to be the loudest one and make a show and the theatrics. He's a master at this. So he will demolish you in a general election. You stand no chance against him. He will demolish you on Twitter, in the mainstream media, during the debates. You can't run from it. So again, this is another further reason why you need to put someone like Bernie Sanders in place. Again, we know Bernie Sanders has better policies already, but just the fact that Bernie's not corrupt already makes him immune from these kind of attacks. You cannot attack Bernie on corruption because he is not corrupt. There is literally nothing there to say. Even Trump knows this. You know, that's why in the mainstream media, they always say like, oh, but you're a hypocrite because you also a millionaire from a book. That's all they have. He wrote a book and he made a few million from a New York Times bestseller because he wrote a book. That's it. Which, again, I don't see how that disqualifies him from wanting to tax the rich, including himself, and wanting to bring about incremental systematic change and reform to the system. It doesn't. On the contrary, I would say it makes him even more well-positioned to speak on that issue. Because if Bernie Sanders wasn't a millionaire, if he had never wrote that book and he wasn't a millionaire, then they would flip it and say like, oh, but you have no idea what it's like to be rich. So how dare you talk about taxing us? They will always find something against Bernie, right? Because they have nothing of substance to actually attack him on. There's nothing really there. But so in a general election, Trump wouldn't stand a chance against Bernie. Okay, he can't attack him on corruption. Joe Biden, he will slice through him like a hot knife through butter. It's over. Forget it. He will hammer it home every single day until it's stuck in people's mind that Joe Biden is corrupt. It's over. Forget it. We haven't even gotten into an election and it's already working. And again, we're not defending Trump, but to bring up Joe Biden's corruption, I mean, you have to scrutinize him because this guy is trying to become the Democratic nominee. He's trying to be the president too. So what, you want to replace a corrupt president with another corrupt president? What kind of logic is that? So I think people are just blinded by this nostalgia of, oh, the Obama days and Joe Biden, haha, and all those memes. You know, when Obama was leaving, there was a lot of Joe Biden memes popping up, like he's this old, sympathetic grandpa type figure. No, he's a racist who supported segregation. He's corrupt like the rest of them. He put tons of black people in jail with the crime bill. He's a horrible person. Okay? He's been in Washington for a long time, but he's a horrible person. He is. To this day, he doesn't even support Medicare for all. Forget him. He's canceled. So my only hope is that during the next debates in 2 weeks, someone who is nearing the end of their candidacy decides to, sucker punch Joe Biden with this stuff. I really hope Castro or Tulsi Gabbard or someone kneecaps Biden on this corruption. I really pray that they do, because that will be glorious. That will be a real buzz moment. Okay. And again, I know we said the debates should be longer. We should have less candidates on stage, so each candidate has more time to actually speak on substance and policies. But I would love to see another Tulsi Gabbard kneecapping Kamala Harris type of moment, where someone goes after Joe Biden and just ends his candidacy. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Matter of fact, why doesn't Bernie do it? Okay, Bernie needs to be more mean. People love it when he's mean, and it works. So yeah, this whole outburst by Joe Biden, some angry old white dude who's trying to hide his corruption again. Yeah, we have that daily. We have that with Donald Trump. We don't need another one. All right. And showing this kind of disdain to reporters who are actually doing their job and asking real questions. I mean, this is literally another Trump in the making. Okay. What's it going to be then? Imagine if this guy becomes president. What, are you going to ask him on policy? He's going to tell you to shut your mouth? How dare you ask me a question? No, thank you. No, thanks. Okay. We've seen enough of Biden. It's over, man. We don't want your racist, corrupt behind in the White House. We already have one there. We've had a lot of them. We need someone who's not corrupt, someone who actually stands for something. We need Bernie Sanders, not you.